everyone, my name is Monique Selden-Riley and I'm your instructor this semester for Human Growth and Development. I want to take a sec and navigate a few things within the course and the syllabus just so that we're all on the same page. So let's get started. So when you log on to MyRCC and you click into our course, it should look something like this. It'll look a little different. I am showing the faculty view because I want to show you things that haven't been released. They don't get released for a few weeks. So I wanted to show you some things kind of behind the scenes, just so that you got like a heads up and all the rest of that. So yours will look a little different, but this menu should be pretty consistent. So if you go into, let's start with the syllabus section. You can click on your syllabus and just open it up. And so let's make that a little bigger. As you see, it's just a bunch of introductory stuff for the most part. So like the college, the course name and number and all that. Here's my name. My name is Monique. You guys can, Monique Selden-Riley. You guys can call me Monique if you want. And it has my email listed here. You guys, the best way to reach me this summer is going to be through Remind app. I'm really trying to take in like self-care and all that. So I'm trying to stay away from all the work emails. But you guys, because I'm actively teaching this course, can reach me on Remind. That's going to be your best bet. I do check my work emails about once a week just to kind of make sure everything's okay. But or if people can't reach me on Remind or whatever, but you want to do Remind. And in terms of any time we need to meet, make appointments with me. Just shoot me a text, whatever, and we can meet on Zoom or Teams or Skype or whatever. We'll work around whatever you need to do, calls, whatever. And in terms of the description of the course, this course is literally just a lifespan class. So it's like looking at our development, human development, from the time that we're born to the time that we die, from womb to tomb. And we're going to be looking at what's normal, what's not normal. We're going to be looking at different theories. We're going to be looking at different domains of development, different things that influence our development, just kind of everything. And it is, I'm not going to lie, it is a very intense course, especially because we're talking like, we're going to take a 15-week course that I don't even technically think belongs in 15 weeks. And we're going to smush it down to a half a summer. Yeah, I'm not sure that's great, But, so it's going to be a lot. So you guys have to stay on top of it, okay? And in terms of what I'm expecting you guys to get, like course materials and things like that, literally just have access to the internet, okay? YouTube, regular stuff, okay? And no textbook is required. I'm gonna give you all your stuff. And I'll show you how I do that in like the resources handout section of the course later. But I am going to utilize some text, some slides that have been given by the people who would publish the textbook that I used to use. And so if you're gonna get a book, like if you're one of those people who need a book, this is the book to get, The Experience Human Development, okay? But don't spend money if you don't have to, okay? Because I'm gonna provide you with everything you need. And the way I'll do that is I'm gonna do online lectures and videos. There are a couple of discussion boards and things like that, but not much, and they're extra credit. But your course is gonna be heavily weighted with like quizzes. And the reason why is because, again, it's a very short class and I don't want to overwhelm you guys with like discussions and papers and this and that. So just like, let's do some quick quizzes, get in and out, show me that you understand the material, and that's that. And so when you're done with this, you're going to be able to talk about theory associated with human growth and development, a lot of the major theories and things like that, different characteristics of various stages of development. You're going to be able to look at it from different points of view, whether we're talking about a genetic, a maturation, an environmental view. Also, how does culture play a part in the world in which we live in society? So you're going to be able to look at all that stuff. Code of conduct, please know your handbook inside and out, as you should for any course that you're taking. However, for my course, I just ask that people are nice and don't cheat. That's all I ask, okay? And if you ever feel like you need some tutoring services or anything like that, of course, my number one suggestion is to please reach out to me first. I am teaching the course. I know what I expect. I know what you need to know. Reach out to me first and I can try and help you. But for some reason, let's say it's not it's not working, or you're not understanding what I'm saying, or whatever, you don't like me, whatever. You can go to and receive tutoring services from the Learning Center. They have virtual services. They also have in person. And I have the information right here on your syllabus. Also, if you either have a disability or feel like you have a disability, you can go to the Accessibility Services office, and that's also in the same building, building 3, on the same floor, the second floor. But you can also reach out to them via email or even telephone, and they can work with you to make sure that you're getting whatever accommodations. Although most students don't utilize, like they don't need special accommodations for my courses per se, because I really try and run like no stress environments, and just like everybody should, be all set with the resources that I give and things. Um, you might need it for like a super hard class in the future, like maybe, I don't know, chemistry or something, statistics, I don't know, something tough. And so I suggest, kind of, if you fall into this category, just getting it and putting it on file, even if you don't necessarily need it for this class. Also, project access, they do pretty much everything that might potentially hinder your academic growth and development. So if you're having issues with like childcare, they can help with stuff like that, or mental health, or even like say you need tutoring services and you're not able to get in touch with a tutor. They might help with something like that. So they're really, really, really good resources. I always refer students to them. They help with kind of everything under the sun, and they're a great starting point. Even if they don't help directly, they can point you in the direction of someone who can. And in terms of attendance, it is an asynchronous online class. We're not meeting and at any point. However, I suggest that you check in a minimum of 3 weeks to your course announcements page and your reminder app, text, and your email and your coursework page. And the reason is because I might throw up like, oh, extra credit or opportunity now, right? Or even like, hey, don't forget there's an assignment that's due soon. Something like that. Even in terms of the rave, yes, I want you guys to please, if you can, I mean, it's not required, but I suggest you guys sign up for rave. It's the college's emergency notification system, and what they do is they send you a call, text, and an email if something's going on, usually like weather stuff, but sometimes not necessarily weather stuff. So like I've been there and the elevators have been down, or there was a gas leak and classes got canceled or whatever. It's always just a good idea to have that, and they don't really sweat you and send you a bunch of stuff and spam and stuff. It's like literally, here's what's going on, and then at the end they say, oh, everything's been resolved. So it's kind of good to have. um in terms of how we'll be meeting, as I mentioned, we're not meeting in person. We're going to meet asynchronously online, so no meetings at all, but we are going to go over the work together. So like if something is due, I suggest you kind of keep on schedule with that. And so what I do is I provide pre-scheduled lectures and stuff like that, pre-recorded lectures, and you guys go over them and then you take your quizzes. And there are also some other extra other materials, like other videos and things like that that you might want to kind of finger through. Okay. And then as I mentioned, if you need to meet with me, set a time up on Remind and we'll meet on Zoom or wherever. And I'm checking my emails weekly. So again, remind. I keep saying this because it's important. I don't want you guys to be like, oh my goodness, I emailed her and she never responded, right? I don't want to be that professor who doesn't respond to emails. So please just hit me on Remind. Also, in terms of assignments, so there are no real due dates for your actual quizzes, right? Except for like at the end of the semester. However, I have created like a tentative schedule that I suggest that you guys kind of keep up with, right? Also, your extra credit assignments do have strict deadlines. So be mindful of that, please. And so I usually will get people's work to them within about a week of when it was actually due. So the way we'll be grading you is on a pretty traditional grading scale. You guys can go over that on your own. And as I mentioned, all we have this semester is quizzes, so you're good in that area. And so how am I evaluating you guys? Okay, so please turn your stuff in when it's due. If you don't turn it in, you don't get credit. So I will only accept things from students up until August 4th at 11:30 p.m. Be mindful of that, please. The class ends August 5th, but then they want us to get our grades in super quick. So I just say August 4th. That way everything is kind of just, quick. And then you guys even have like some flexi room to get in late stuff. So um, it shouldn't be, a tremendous mad dash. So if you don't turn anything in, you get a 0. So please just respect that policy. Also, you guys, the quizzes are gonna they're not just like rote memorization, like vocabulary and stuff like that. Sometimes there's scenarios and things like that. So they're gonna kind of test your knowledge on a more like a little deeper level. Um, and because it's such a short time frame, keep in mind that I suggest you maintain a schedule. You can make it up yourself. I suggest Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday to kind of work with, just to keep, say I have a quiz on Tuesday, I have a quiz on Thursday, I have a quiz on Saturday. There are 11 total quizzes. There are 10 questions each, all multiple choice. And you have 3 attempts to complete the quiz before that final due date on August 4th at 11:30. And what I do is I take an average of each attempt. So let's say you got um, the first time you took it, you got an 80. The next time you took it, you got a 90. And the last time you took it, you got 100, right? I would then average those scores out, and your average grade would be a 90, okay? Um, so I'm comfortable with you guys moving way ahead of schedule. If you guys want, like some people, they complete the class and it's 2 weeks, boom, boom, they're done. But just make sure you're keeping stuff in order. Like you're going from early childhood to middle childhood. You're not going from early childhood to young adulthood, back down to adolescence. Like, you're going in order. That's what I suggest. And here's a tentative schedule that, here's a tentative schedule that I'm suggesting that students keep, and I'll kind of zoom out just so you can kind of see the whole thing. So during that first week, it's really going to be introductions. A lot of the stuff is extra credit. You don't have to do it. I strongly suggest you do it, just so there's no like you don't know where you'll be at the end of the semester. You know what I mean? So do your extra credit. Introduce yourself. Quick post. If you've done it for other classes, no need in reinventing the wheel. Copy and paste it and change what you need to so that it fits the requirements for this class, right? And I'm also having a syllabus quiz, which is pretty much on this video. So 10 questions, multiple choice, 3 times that you get to do it, and an average of all. And it's extra credit, so why not? And then there's the Remind app. So this is when you sign up for to receive text messages from me, and you send a code to a text message, and then you answer a few questions, and boom, you're in. And then I give extra credit. But I won't sweat you with the text messages and send you a bunch of spam and weird stuff. I'm literally, if something comes up, I'll send you a message like, hey, don't forget such and such, or hey, such and such is going on. And so you'll have these quizzes. So after each module, you'll have a quiz. And again, the quizzes are 10 questions, multiple choice, unlimited time. And let me see, average of each. Yeah. So after you go over the study of human development, you take quiz 1, theory and research, you take quiz 2. And then you move on to the next week, forming a new life, quiz 3, and all the way down pretty much until the end, where quiz 5 is really a catch-up week. And I stop accepting assignments on that Thursday of that week, so be mindful. And then there's also self-care. So if you haven't engaged in any self-care, come on, guys, it's the summertime. Engage in some self-care. And what does Monique keep talking about when she's talking about self-care? Self-care is your ability to engage in something that is just for you, something that it helps you to alleviate stress. It's not something for the kids. It's not something for the nieces and nephews. It's not something for the neighbors. It's not something for your parents. It is literally something for you. If that means that you go take a bike ride, then do it. If that means that you fly yourself to Greece, then go do it. If that means that you go and get a massage, or I don't know, go out in the backyard and sunbathe, go do it. Whatever makes you happy, and it's just for you. Okay. Now, I've had students say to me, well, I like reading, but like reading is like school stuff. It's still self care. If you like doing it, do it. It's self care. Or I've had students say, well, I like hanging out with my nieces and nephews. Okay, well, it's self-care. That's fine. So what you'll do is you'll do a discussion post, just kind of 1 or 2 sentences. It shouldn't be long. This is what I did for self-care, and this is why it was cool. And then respond to somebody else. Okay. Um, so I hope that clarifies everything on your syllabus. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. Alrighty. Have a good one. Bye, everyone.